Right off the bat, Jared Elston and Dustin Craven, two first-timers here at Natural Selection. And we will start off with the pride of Bend, Oregon, Jared Elston, and get his perspective here as he heads into finals day.
Firstly, I was super jealous because it looked so fun. And just like, yeah, the whole production of everything was just like so spot on for like the first year of the event. And I was like really impressed like how dialed everything was. And like obviously they got super lucky with weather and yeah, just like made for an all-time show. Super entertaining. As far as like people that I would not want to pick against the seed or in the seed would be Arthur, Mikkel, Ben, and Sage, and Torstein. Torstein's probably the biggest threat. He's got something proven here for sure.
I don't like to brag, but we've had this conversation all week. Torstein's he's my silent horse.
And of all the riders he just mentioned, only one was eliminated on day one. That's Arthur. So Jared could very well go up against 4 of the riders that he said he does not want to go up against.
When talking to Jared a few days ago, he was excited because he said, you know, I'm used to these type of conditions where I come from in Bend, Oregon. And he is on course to kick us off here. It is officially finals day in motion as the first person to go through this northern course greases the backflip to open it up.
And this is where we all kind of get the reveal of these new features that haven't been hit. And the snow looks really good. Front side 360 from Jared Elston.
The snow looks great, actually. It looks like it's much easier to handle than the other day.
Jared Elston just opened up booster shot with a backside 3. And a huge method. That was ridiculous. I'm sorry, I think that was aircraft carrier 2 booster shot. So Elston putting down fresh tracks. Solid run.
That was the talk, wasn't it? Who's going to open it up first? And there we go, first run.
And Elston told me the other day that he wanted to hit it first. So maybe dropping first, that last minute switch when he realized he was going to go ahead of Dustin, kind of helped him out a little bit.
I mean, he was always kind of the dark horse of the field, Jared, wasn't he? You know, when the field got announced. But I think when we were choosing the riders for the event, his part in hand over fist was just so incredible. Just showcased his riding at such a high level that it was a bit of a no-brainer, really.
Frontside double 12 over pyramid gap.
That beautiful backside 7 nose.
You saw the mood in the Red Bull athletes tent from all the athletes inside there. The tone has been set for possibility as Dustin Craven waits to take his run from Revelstoke, British Columbia.
Vibes are high.
Vibes are high. Let's hear from Dustin.
It's just super interesting, you know, and I think it's obviously there's people like me and a lot of others that haven't competed in so many years, and it pulls us back into competition, which is super. I mean, as far as the backcountry riding, having this event come up in the end of January is super disruptive to that. And then I think also like the competitive kids obviously would love to be here, and then it's kind of like some old dusty dogs like us come out of nowhere and take their spot, so it's fun.
Old dusty dog of 28 years old. I love how this event takes someone who grew up competing but now is so focused on filming, and it says, I can't not come in and put the bid back on and compete.
And it gives them an avenue to show a global audience what they do. So take into account right here, Dustin riding all the way into the first feature switch, starting things off with a switch backside 180.
Which we know the judges are going to like because they're really looking at that flow between features as well.
Wow. Big old backside 7. Craven stomps it, chatters out a little bit. It's an inconsequential stop in his run.
Huge.
And he's just taking so much speed out of those landings there. Big old method from Dustin Craven. And now kind of finding his way through the trees. I'm really interested to hear the interaction between Jared and Dustin after that first run. Will it be one of tense, nervous, awkward, or will it be relief and exuberance?
It's one of the things that's so interesting about this event, though, isn't it? Like seeing how these riders with pretty distinct styles like take on this approach. I mean, you know, Dustin four-line destroyer, ultimately.
Have it. Aircraft carrier. The boost, exactly.
That was a bit better up top.
Check out this recap here, starting things off with a big backflip. That was Jared Elston. Strong way to start. A lot of risk taking that on your first hit. And then a front side 360.
Beautiful.
And you can visibly see the difference in the snow.
Yeah, you heard him at the bottom as well, didn't you? Say, it's nicer, it's better today.
And there's a backside 360 on booster shot. The build that went into the takeoff of that from Ranyan and his park crew is the stuff of legend.
The unsung heroes of this whole event.
So Elston's biggest spin was 360. Dustin did go backside 720, but again, Elston started things off with that backflip, whereas Dustin approached the top of the course by riding it all switch.
I think the judges are going to like that combination of the difficulty of the switch running at the top and then the 7, so let's see.
And you know, the importance of the first runs, this is where the judges set the bar for the day, right? This is where they're telling the riders, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're rewarding, and this is what we're going to dock you for.
Yeah, that was one of the really interesting things in the riders meeting the other day, wasn't it? Like where they set that anchor almost with these first runs.
Oh, nice, Jared.
Jared in the lead.
And we are heading into back to the top with Jared Elston in the lead. If you're Jared Elston, pressure, no pressure.
It doesn't seem like the kid feels pressure
I don't
to me.
think Jared's feeling a lot of pressure here. He's footloose and fancy free, and he's just having the time of his life. If I'm him right now, knowing Jared as I do, he's foot to the gas trying to eliminate Dustin Craven and move on to the next round. Starting things off with a backflip into a frontside 360.
Yeah, we watched Jared get progressively better in the first round from first to second runs, and it looks like he's doing the same again.
That was one of those landings you just mentioned, Slammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight air off the plank.
It looks to me like he's just really trying to get a run down here, isn't he? You know. And he's doing it.
Yeah, I think Jared's mentality was put down a run, stay board down, as Sage Kotzenberg would say,
Yeah.
and hand it over to Dustin Craven and say, here you go, ball's in your court now.
Which is where the pressure question is going to come in.
Frontside 180, switch ride out. It was a good run from Jared Elston.
Yeah, solid.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. Didn't really change it up at all, but
Nice work.
trying to get to the bottom.
How was run 2 compared to run 1 as far as the course goes?
Tracks are setting in.
Well,
Tracks are definitely setting in, but
a little faster?
yeah. Snow's just better up top than it is at the bottom, that's for sure.
Speaking of up top, how is it dropping in with the local legend, Rob Kingwell, giving you the knucks before you go?
Could not have a better good luck knuck right there.
Love it, man, love it. Well, now we get to watch Dustin Craven here.
Excited.
Excited? We're all excited here.
Oh.
Good luck, Nux. Rob Kingwell, of course, a legend. You see him there in his NST gear, set to drop Mr. Craven in. Bend versus BC.
I think Dustin's got one of my favorite tricks of the year, actually, the front 7 ender transfer.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that sums up his approach, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, because these 8 men you're going to see today and 4 gals are also qualified into baldface. And, you know, that's terrain that Dustin Craven is very comfortable in, whereas this might be suited a little bit more toward Jared Elston. But we're going to see if Craven can force a tiebreak.
And that is the magic of this tour, right? At all 3 stops.
Switch back 1. That was huge. There's that backside 720 nose grab. Craven stomps it.
If only he was going fast.
The landing on that, though, was incredible.
Frontside 360.
This is getting interesting.
Yeah, and that's where you see Jared Elston just said, he said the snow up top is better than down bottom, and you saw it right there. It gets a little chattery for Dustin Craven.
Oh, you could hear that frustration. He's
Yeah.
like, really? I'm going to just go down by getting snow snaked, not actually trying something?
Yeah, that was tough.
Nonetheless, he went all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that switch backside one at the top was massive, wasn't it?
Audible frustration.
Oh, man.
That's awkward if you're Dustin. You know what I mean? Like, oh, sorry, bro.
Yeah. Like you said, Sam, you could sense the frustration there, couldn't you? Because the top of that run was amazing.
So Jared Elston with a backflip on the first feature, right into a frontside 360 on the second. That's a really nice backside 360 from Jared Elston. And this is where the snow starts to get a little compromised, right? It's speeding up, too. That sun is baking it. It's getting more tracked with every single rider that drops. And the amount of speed they have coming into the bottom section of that course, you know, that's where a rider, I think, like Blake Paul has an advantage, because Blake seems to be controlling his speed all the way down, whereas some of the other riders are just going really, really fast and trying to slow down all at once. It's a lot of today is going to be about speed control.
Well, that was one of the most impressive things about day one from the men and the women, wasn't it? Like their ability to judge speed in conditions like this, which is changing throughout the day, is again one of those details of high-level snowboarding that sometimes gets taken for granted.
Yep.
But it's really being showcased at this event.
Yeah, if there's one thing this Yeti Natural Selection course at Jackson Hole does, is it does really force you to adapt to the conditions. And the rider who takes the win here today is going to be pretty darn hyped to take home first place here in Jackson.
And Craven really went all out.
He's going so fast.
Yeah, Jared. Nice work, buddy.
Dude, thank you.